Well, friends, we are back in the garden today, and it seems I still have a chicken problem. Today I'm going to be trying to plant my garlic. Also, I need to get my strawberries in the ground. If you remember, last year, we weren't so lucky when it came to either one of those crops, through no fault of our own, really. Technically, we had a chicken problem. Now, we thought we had taken care of this problem by clipping their wings and relegating them to the half-acre fenced-in section near the animal barn. But we have a few rogue chickens and rooster that still manage to hop the fence. It seems that some of our newer hens, who we couldn't clip at the time, are big enough now. We're going to go ahead and clip their wings and get them taken care of. Now the rooster, we did clip him, but he's smart. I don't know. He manages to still hop out, and they wreak havoc on my garden. I was trying to avoid having to use netting over my garden just because it's kind of a pain. But I didn't really see any other choice, so I managed to cover up my broccoli bed, and then after I get these other crops planted, I'm going to cover them up as well. While I'm out here, I'm going to go ahead and pick one more round of our peppers. As you can see here behind me, they're just not wanting to die. But the frost is coming, so I'm going to go ahead and do one final harvest, and then we'll be done with those.
Yesterday, there was sun and there was rain.
While I'm out here, I'm checking on my poor tomato plants. We had a storm come through several days ago and just knocked the plants over. The roots are still in the ground. They're still producing tomatoes, but we have a frost coming up in a couple of days and they're not going to survive. So I think what I'm going to have to do is pull all of the tomatoes off and have them ripen inside. I'm out here in the animal barn and I am gathering up some rabbit manure, which is the perfect compost to go on top of the raised garden beds. And I happen to spot one of our white rabbits on the ground, out of the cage. All the cages are locked. I have no idea how this rabbit got out. I don't know if I'll be able to catch it or not. Shh, I'm hunting rabbits. Well, I didn't catch the rabbit, but I have a wheelbarrow full of manure and I grabbed a bale of hay as well. And let's get planting. There are very few people who would appreciate what I'm about to show you. One of them is a gardener, and the other one is a fisherman. Earthworms in your soil is a good thing. My bed is ready for my strawberries to be planted. I have two types this year. I am going to do a Camarosa strawberry, and then I have a ruby red. And let's hope, fingers crossed, let's hope that we can keep the chickens out of the garden beds this year. These strawberries came in about a month ago, and I've been keeping them in a spare refrigerator until we could get them in the ground. They still have lots of green on them, but that's okay. As soon as we get them all planted, and then I put the rabbit manure over the tops, then I'm going to cover the entire plant with hay. You can use straw, you can use wood chips, probably leaves, but I'm using what we have, and that is hay. Early spring, when the ground starts to warm up and temperatures are climbing, then I'll uncover all of the plants, and then the green sprouts should start coming back. So all the strawberries are planted. The last thing I have to do now is get it covered and protected from the chickens. I've already put the rabbit manure on. I've loaded it down with hay to protect the plants for the upcoming winter. And now we need to protect it from the chickens. So I have this netting, and I think it's 10 by 50. I can't really remember, but I think I bought enough to be able to cover 3 beds. So I just need to find which way goes which.
Making our way how God intended. Life on the homestead recommended. When the going gets tough and you're done pretending. Life on the homestead recommended. There are no more 9 to 5 when you're living between the pines. No more struggling to get by.
And that's it. Hopefully this will keep them out and I'll have fresh strawberries come spring. I think I've had enough work in the garden today. I'm gonna wait and plant my garlic when Michael's home, that way he can help me. And now we're just gonna head back into the kitchen. I'm in the process of making some more sprouts. I've got alfalfa sprouts and broccoli sprouts. And if you're not familiar with sprouts, you really need to look into it, because you talk about packs a powerful punch of nutrient-dense food. I was just checking on my sprouts here, and they're actually looking pretty good. These are the alfalfa sprouts, and I need to find a nice sunny windowsill to put them in over the next 2 days so that the sprouts can actually turn green instead of staying white. Nothing wrong with eating the white ones. I just like them to be green. These are the broccoli sprouts. And these were done at the same time, but broccoli sprouts take another day or 2 longer to start sprouting than the alfalfa sprouts. And if you'll look closely, some of these are starting to sprout here, but the majority of them are not sprouted yet, so they have a little ways to go. The last thing I want to do today, I want to ferment some apples. I've been wanting to do this for a couple of years now, but I did not want to do it with store-bought apples. Since I was fortunate enough to visit an apple orchard earlier this fall, I have some nice organic apples, and I'm gonna go ahead and try making some fermented apples. Now, I don't have quite as many left over as I wanted, but it's enough to experiment and test it out. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I've already washed the apples. I'm gonna slice them into thin slices, about 1/4 inch or so. You could dice them up if you wanted. You could actually even leave it whole. It just would take longer for the fermentation process. You do want to leave the skins on for this. So I've got my jar half filled with sliced apples. I'm going to add a few ingredients into the jar now. I'm going to add a cinnamon stick, a few whole cloves, and then 1 or 2 of the star anise. Now that I have my spices inside the jar, I'm going to go ahead and continue filling it with the sliced apples until it's full, and then I'll be able to add my brine. So next, I'm going to pour in the juice from 1 lemon over the top of the apples. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of a good salt. Now I'm just going to pour some warm water over the top, just warm enough to help dissolve the salt. And I want to make sure all of the apples stay covered. The final step is to get our apples covered, and they make fermentation lids that you can buy. I did not buy any of those. We're doing things on a budget today. So I just have another small jar that I'm going to place on top. This is going to help keep the apples submerged under the brine. Then I've got some cheesecloth here that I'm going to put over the top, and I'm going to secure it with a rubber band. And that's it. This is going to sit on the counter in a cool, dark place for a couple of days. After 2 to 3 days, I'm going to taste one of the apples, see if it's fermented to my liking. If it is, at that point, then I'm going to put a regular lid on it and put it in the refrigerator, which will slow down the fermentation process. Now, if it's not to my liking and I want it to ferment a little bit longer, I'll just leave it on the counter and then I'll check it every couple of days. When it gets to the point where I want it, that's the point I want to slow down fermentation. So we'll put it in the refrigerator. I'm always looking for ways to get fermented foods into our diets. I am not a big fan of sauerkraut. I don't like kimchi. I don't even like kombucha. So I've been experimenting with different things. Fermented apples is going to be one of those. And then I also have been making fermented kefir. These are water kefir grains. You strain them out, and then you take this liquid that's been fermenting for several days on the counter, and you add some fruit to it or some fruit juice, and then you let it ferment a few more days on the counter, and then you have your own carbonated beverage, all natural and gut healthy. Thanks for joining us on the Homestead, friends. We appreciate you watching. I'll leave a link for a couple of videos right here for you to watch. Check back with us next week where we'll be planting our garlic and then getting the rest of our beds tucked in for the winter. We'll see you next time.